Luke comes, Percussion. I can't sing that low. I'm gonna go, Percussion. It's sorry, it's hilarious. What's going up, everybody? I am D Royal, aka the Faith Hashira, and this is the very first Producers React, and I'm doing Epic the Musical. It is something I have been wanting to do for a very long time. But let me give you a little backstory into who I am. I am a producer, audio engineer, musician, singer, rapper. I've done a lot of things, and I've been doing this probably about 20 years or so. And because I've been doing this, it is very interesting to me when I hear other creators do things that I might have heard or didn't think of doing when making their own musical projects. If you are on the internet or social media apps like I am a lot on TikTok or Instagram, you might have come across some of my stuff from last year. I'm the creator of When Church Musicians Like series. I've done anime, cartoon, wrestling themes, TV shows, and things like that. And that is because I am an actual musician who actually learned how to play in church. Later went to school for music production, audio engineering, and have been doing this really ever since 2005 with my own personal projects with other people on radio, live sound, and things like that. So small plug, if you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, it will be at the Faith Hashira. And that also ties into the fact of some other reason why I'm doing this now too. You see, I have actually written my own musical based off Peter, the first disciple that Jesus has called. It's called At Peter the Musical. You can see it on Instagram and TikTok. If you want to know more about it, I would love for you to go there, follow along with how we are doing casting, because we are currently casting right now. It has been completed, so I need people to be able to sing and rap in it, because it's a musical based off the style of Hamilton. And that's actually why this is something I haven't been able to do for a long time. You see, I actually started writing Peter the Musical in 2020, like essentially a week after seeing Hamilton for the first time on Disney Plus. I was inspired to do something for myself. Thus, I started writing it. And I think it was 2021 was the first time, or 2022 was the first time that I actually saw a TikTok about Epic the Musical from Jorge. And when I saw it, I was like, man, this is incredible. It sounds really cool. I can't wait to hear more about it. But I also made sure I didn't immerse myself in it so that my own writing was an influence. So now that I was done writing Peter the Musical, I could really dive into Epic and start to love it like so much of the fan base does too. Now that I'm in the casting mode for Peter, I can go into Epic, and I am going to go through each song, and I'll try not to nerd out too much from the musical side as well as like the audio engineering side, because I don't want you to get too lost in all the things that I could possibly say about stuff. But I want to do my best to actually break down how some of these songs were created, or how some of the musical things bring us through emotional parts of what this musical is, so that you can get a greater understanding to why it makes you feel the way it does. So in all of that, let's start with number one, The Horse and the Infant. We're of course going to be watching the animatic by Gigi. You know, that's the thing that started it off for so many of us. An incredible animation and an incredible intro song. Now, just for those who have seen a bunch of React videos before, I am going to be stopping and starting a lot. This is not just a watch through and then a watch back. I want to break down them by section. So if this is not the kind of thing you like to see, I personally understand, but just know if you're rocking with me, we're going to be stopping and starting and then doing some education in between those. All right, without further ado, let's get into it, babe.
All right, my brothers, listen closely. Tonight we make the Trojans pay. 10 years of war, they killed us slowly, but now we'll be the ones who slay.
Sorry, I harmonize with this thing all the time. I'm going to try to keep that to a minimum too. All right, this opening part here, one thing you're going to notice, there is absolutely no percussion, or what you're going to call, right? No drums or anything yet. It's all just, it's a guitar, and the choir sound in the back. But one thing I love about it is that instruments can, of course, still create movement. You hear the clock ticking. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, if you're going to call it a tempo. But the guitar sound, it's in 3/4. So this is syncopated rhythm. So two things doing a different rhythm working together. And because they're moving at different paces, it still creates a form of movement, though there is no drums or any type of beat to go with it. So that's why you're feeling anticipation for what's going on instead of just like a ballad, right? A ballad where it's just strings and it sounds like a love song, but because there's something creating movement on the tempo, you're feeling the whole preparation for war like's going on. And also what you see here, it does the guitar, the guitar sound of that melody, and then it's quiet. So it gives space for the vocals. And when you're writing songs to create that kind of emotion, everything doesn't need to be filled in all the spots. That empty space creates anticipation, and it creates space for the vocals to do whatever. So like even when you're thinking about writing songs or someone who is making a beat, so to speak, or you're making the music before lyrics are even there, leaving space for the voice to fill in is something you're always wanting to think about. So I know Jorge definitely did that when he was making this. He wanted to leave space for Odysseus's words to bring impact, because when you start the song, we're only 30 seconds into the song, and he wants to grip you if you're a brand new listener. So you're hearing dun 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 dun. All right, my brothers, listen. Dun, dun. You're in. Like I'm in the horse with you too. What we about to do? We about to slay? What we slaying? I'm locked in. Let's keep going.
Of your wives and your children, your families wonder where you've been. They're growing old and yet you're still here. Do what I say.
Another thing too is that this chord progression going downward. You're going to see this, of course, through much of this, but it's not necessarily dread or evil, but when chord progressions go downward, it makes it like less happy, right? So because these are soldiers inside a horse about to go attack for war, you feel like, oh snap, something's going on, because it's going, and that going down, it's just making you feel like, oh man, something serious is about to go on. And as we're about to hear, something serious is about to go down.
And you'll see them again. Yes, sir. Diomedes will lead the charge. Agamemnon will flank the guards. Menelaus will let our mates through the gates to take the whole city at large. Teucer will shoot any ambush attacking. Little Ajax will stay back. Nestor, secure Helen and protect her. Leo, avenge your father, kill the brothers of Hector.
Man, that is such a good way to switch up this song. See, like I say, I haven't been able to geek out about this stuff yet. So now I'm reliving it again and really just getting to gush over it. So run it back just a little bit, because I want you to hear some things very specific.
What I say and you'll see them again. Yes, sir. Diomedes will lead the charge. Agamemnon will flank the guards.
So we come in immediately with a 4 on the floor kick, just boom, 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 boom. No snare, no hi-hats or anything, just that pulsing beat. But also the guitar now is doing a upbeat strum. So the boom, ba-dam, ba-bam, bam, ba-dam, bam, bam. Now we've got, once again, this is movement, and of course we've got the kick drums in there, but it's giving you a bit more of more tension, right? More tension to what's going on. You're listening to the lyrics, Diomedes. I've seen people react saying diabetes. It's an M. You can clearly hear him say Diomedes, but you're hearing him talk about what everyone's gonna do. Little Ajax will stay back. Hector, secure Helen, all the things going on. So with these instruments playing around each other, you're locked in. I would check your pulse if you listen to this and you don't feel hype. Like if you don't feel hype listening to this part of the song, whether you listen to the rest of it or not, you've got to admit that how the instruments are playing with each other creates the anticipation to what this battle is possibly going to look like. And as it keeps going, there's more instruments. The strings are going na 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 on top of the guitar, on top of the drum. There's still a choir going in. The melody line that Odysseus is actually saying, it all works together to bring us to the point we're about to get to.
Menelaus will let our mates through the gates to take the whole city at large. Teucer will shoot any ambush attacking. Little Ajax will stay back. Nestor, secure Helen and protect her. Leo, avenge your father, kill the brothers of Hector. Yes, find that inner strength now. Use that well of pride. Fight through every pain now. Ask yourself inside, what do you live
through? Yeah, so we're going to. Yeah, once again, it's another chord progression, but in the opposite direction. Because now we've done all this stuff to like get us hyped up, get us anticipated. You switch into the. Yeah, what's it? Oh, it's too minor. Whenever the chord progressions go upward, automatically triumphant. You know, but I can't hit find your inner strength now. Use that friend up front. It's just like, yes, whoo, and the on the one, whoo, 2, 3, 4, whoo, man. I was driving in my car, listening to this the very first time, and I think I started going 20 miles above the speed limit because all of this together it's like your heart just starts beating faster. It even starts going to the tempo of what this is happening. And so immediately, it's F minor, G minor, G sharp major, what's that B? A sharp major 2. Just a very triumphant chord progression to make you feel like at the part, did we even say it? Did I stop it?
What do you try for? What do you wish for? What do you fight for? What do you try for? What do you wish for? What do you fight for?
What do you wish for? What do you try for? What do you fight? That makes you think about it. I mean, you could be, I don't know, at McDonald's. What are you trying to order? Make up your mind. Make a decision. Be triumphant with it. No. But it's such a good idea. And especially to switch from that downward immediately into that, I was like, yo, this guy, Jorge, is on to something. Oh, man. Oh, it's like I'm reliving this all over again. I love it. So then, of course, we're getting here. Oop, run it back.
Hey now, ask yourself inside, what do you live for? What do you try for? What do you wish for? What do you fight for? What do you live for? What do you try for? What do you wish for? What do you fight for?
And of course, more tribal drums. More tribal drums come in here. And one thing I want to think, if you're a musician or you're thinking of making music, having versatile instruments within one song is a great idea. I learned that a long time ago in college, where it's like, sometimes you have a drum kit, it's got a kick, it's got a snare, and other sounds you're trying to put in, get them from other kits, get other sounds to fill in the space. Whether it be shakers, hi-hats, or I used to always use like a hip-hop kits, and then orchestral percussion, and then orchestral percussion, and then like Asian cymbals, like Asian kit cymbals. So like just pulling them from all over the place, it makes the sound less linear. And when I say linear, it's just like all from this one space. They start in the acoustic range, they start coming from different places. So if you listen in this part, run it back a little bit.
Nestor, secure Helena protector. Leo, avenge your father, kill the brothers of Hector. Yes, sir. Find that inner strength now. Use that well of pride.
Try to listen to the kick, to the percussion stuff itself. The kick drum you feel here, but all the it's got more of a stereo sound to it. Like it actually sounds a little more around you than just right in front of you. And that has to do with mixing. But the drums, the quality of the sound of the drums themselves lives in that space. So when you're looking for sounds that you want to put into your song, think about where they sit in your ears when you're listening to it, or when the person who's putting it in with the different headphones. This was the way that it helps with the uprise of the intensity, right? It helps to push us toward that find your. You're thinking about the drums of war, even back in that time. Those are sounds that are very close to probably instruments of the time period. And you don't always have to do that, but it was a great idea when they're talking about war. You know what I mean? It was a really great thing.
Fight through every pain now. Ask yourself inside, what do you live for? What do you try for? What do you wish for? What do you fight for? What do you live for? What do you try for? What do you wish for? What do you fight for? Penelope, and Telemachus. I fight for us. fight for us.
And here you've got you've got a beat for the heartbeat, and that's great because, like I said earlier, taking instruments away is a great way to create more drama in a song. Like immediately, we're about to charge for war. Then Penelope, and it's the string, the violin or viola, which, as we are going to see going forward, represents Penelope, and that whether it was a lute, lyre, guitar, that represents Telemachus. That is like a really great way to, it's tension without volume, if you get what I'm saying. Like, we were just very loud with all those instruments going on, and all that stuff, but then we just take it out. It's a shock to your system. It's a shock to your ears. So like a quick change of volume and instrumental, whatever is going on, it's still grabbing a person's ears. There's a thing called listener's fatigue that we're taught about in, like music school, where diversity in the music that you're creating helps keep people interested. Because if the same thing happens for a long amount of time, the people stop being able to hear some of the things. Like your ears actually get fatigued because they're a muscle. Your eardrum is a muscle. So they start to get tired, can't hear some of the frequencies, can't hear some of the instruments, and sometimes just kind of tune it out because it's been the same thing for so long. Which is why when you're making music, like doing loops and stuff like that, people do tune it out. So a quick like removal of 4 instruments that keeps the person engaged with their ears. Like you could be watching the whole thing, but now your ears are really tuned in. And now of course we're listening to what he's talking about. Who? Penelope, Telemachus. Who were they? The words, the music dropping out made us even listen to what he's talking about more. And as we're about to go into this next section, it's gonna bring us right back.
Penelope, what do you try for? Telemachus, what do you wish for? I'm on my way. What do you fight for?
Who doesn't love a guitar solo? That's all early Power Rangers, 1990s, man. It's that getting hyped for the battle, and then we took everything away just for a moment. Like it's not a completely different song, but we took it away, and then we're gonna bring it all back.
Attack!
Try to listen in there how the different sounds of the percussion section help to fill the space. We've got people yelling, we've got, swords swinging and stuff like that. But whenever there's, like you hear right here.
What do you try for? Telemachus. What do you wish for? I'm on my way. What do you fight for? Attack!
Like when the chords change, you can hear that all around you. And we're going full orchestral strings at this point, because you're getting bass, cello, viola, violin, all of it together. We're filling the whole space. We're trying to make everyone feel like this battlefield is crowded. Because I feel like even if the people weren't yelling, and I know I heard this before I saw it, I envisioned the battle going on, because just the fullness of all of the music was doing a really great job of making it feel like a cluttered battlefield. Like we are attacked, and then everything came back right in your face. And it was the downward, that again, the downward chord progression, which makes you feel like intense and on guard. Like you need to be watchful of someone who's coming to get you while you're listening to all this.
Who was that?
Now we kind of are getting into a whole different song at this point, but that switch up, taking out the instrument, taking out the strings, and then just that little sound. That's all we get. A little kick drum and that the Foley art of rain, and it's now a new soundscape. So we are in something brand new, but it's effective in keeping us engaged. Because besides the scream and the like, if the music just flat out changed and I was driving and wasn't paying attention, I'd just be like, oh, what just happened? Whenever that kind of stuff happens in a song, it makes you snap back and pay attention, right?
Who was that?
A vision of what is to come cannot be outrun, can only be dealt with right here and now.
Tell me how.
I don't think you're ready.
Yeah, so that's definitely either a bass synth or just a synth on the lower register, and just boom, ta, boom, boom, ta, boom, and then Luke comes, Percussion. I can't sing that low. Percussion. It's sorry, it's hilarious to me because he's a great singer. It's just very funny how deep he can make that sound. But he's leaving space. Jorge's leaving space for Luke's voice to be what it's trying to be, right? It's Zeus. And we need this reveal of Zeus to have weight. So we don't need a whole lot of instruments. Having the percussion in there makes it, once again, not a ballad of sorts. And we've still got movement in the kick drum. But just something on the low end and let his voice fill the whole space.
A mission to here and now.
Tell me how.
I don't think you're ready.
And I want to say something I actually had forgot to mention a few times. There are flourishes that help transition us from section to section. Like you'll hear in this when it says, I don't think you're ready. You'll hear like it's not necessarily like an instrument, but it's a sound, right? It's going to be like sweeping whoosh or things like that. Musicians use that all the time to just help move songs along or help to bridge between points where new instruments are added and things like that. And they're used on purpose. And I love the ones that Jorge used in all these songs. Like in this specific one, it has one of my favorite ones through the whole musical, because I just feel like that was a choice. I don't know why he chose that, but I love it.
A mission to kill someone's son, a foe who...
Once again, this is Zeus, so the drums even feel heavier than before. It's just doom, ba, boom, ka, doom, doom, da, doom. And the staccato, choir. It's all to give weight to who's speaking, right? Now we're using the instruments to play to the character that was already going to be here. Because even if you don't have all of the melody written, you're writing this, Jorge's writing this like, okay, now this is the part where Zeus is. So like you made it seem bigger or more bombastic, so to speak, because Zeus is all, biggest of the big, baddest of the bad, all that stuff. And it's doing a very good job here.
Won't run, unlike anyone you have faced before.
Say no more. I know that I'm ready.
I don't think you're ready.
It's just an infant.
Now, of course, now we're already talking here to bring change, to grab people's attention again, take away every instrument, take them all away with a sweep, and introduce a brand new one. It's a little like glockenspiel piano in a melody that's like a nursery. And another thing here, it's got like a top either harp or guitar.
You're ready.
It's kind of like a guitar. I feel like it's like I think it's a guitar, but in a very similar vein to how we heard it used for Telemachus. Remember, Telemachus was a little baby, so when he sees this baby after Zeus is just like, hey, come on, get ready. And it's a baby, like my son. So bringing that instrument back, looking at this little child, shows the connection of like how he goes, it's just an infant. Like, wait a minute, like mine.
Just an infant, it's just a boy. What sort of imminent threat does he pose that I cannot avoid?
This is the son of none other than Troy's very own.
There it is. That's my favorite flourish. It's just, I don't know if that was like a conga or something, but just like, you know, imminent threat that he pose that he cannot avoid. And it just, for some reason, drums, congas.
It's just an infant, it's just a boy. What sort of imminent threat does he pose that I cannot avoid?
This is the son of none other than Troy's very own Prince Hector. Know that he will grow from a boy to an avenger, one fumed with rage as you're consumed by age. If you don't end him now, you'll have no one left to save. You can say goodbye to...
Now, in this section, you'll notice there's a lot more instruments supporting Zeus this time. It's not just I am Zeus, it's I am now telling you something crazy that is going to happen if you don't listen to me, and you need to feel the weight of the situation. So there's more strings, like actually a violin solo going up the top. There's that bass synth riding, but then there's actually more of the middle section of the strings, more violin and viola. And then that choir comes in, if you don't end them now, you have no, the stacking of vocals, all of that to go, hey, feel more, right? You need to pay attention to this section. I love it.
Avenger, one fumed with rage as you're consumed by age. If you don't end him now, you'll have no one left to save. You can say goodbye to. You can say goodbye to.
I could raise him as my...
And then we bring back to the Penelope, right? Clearly in the story, Zeus is trying to get Odysseus to understand you could say goodbye to Penelope. But it's that same section where like the instruments leave, but an underlying bass hum is there. If you're listening to it, I got some really good headphones, so I could hear them. But listening to some really good speakers. And you know, it's say goodbye to.
You can say goodbye to.
It's a low rumble. Yeah. I think that's what happens.
You can say goodbye to.
Yeah, stays low. And with that rumble with now a heartbeat with it, it's like making you remember why you were doing this fight, but there's like danger attached to that memory. Like you're not going to get what you've been trying to get to. And by bringing that melody line, that section back, this is like the A1, right? Bringing it back again with just a few things that are changed in it, it's now creating a little bit more danger, more intensity, right? You're drawing in the listener to be able to be like, oh man, I remember that. Ooh, it sounds different than it did last time, right? And since this is a musical, you've now got people involved from an emotional state. It's not just, oh, I heard the words. Like, oh, you feel it. You can feel the difference as opposed to last time when you heard it say Penelope.
I could raise him as my own.
Your house and
far
throne
away
will
from
find
home.
you
Make sure his past is never known.
Gods will make him
I'd rather
known.
wait
We're
for ya.
bringing you down
I'm on my knees for ya. I'm begging
This is the
please.
will of the God.
Man, that's a great, I can't remember the term for it, because when They Don't Talk About Bruno came out, I learned what that was. You know, when everyone sings their parts all together and they like dance around each other and come like back just for a little bit. I love that part of this because you're hearing the fight, right? You're hearing the fight and how they're singing it together. It's like, you know, it's like, hey, I'm saying this. Hey, I'm saying this. Down on my knees. But also when you're hearing the music, we're still in that the Percussion. We're still in that chord progression. It's like nothing has changed. Nothing has changed from when I came to you. There's just more intensity with how it's being sung.
I could raise him as my own, or send him far away from home. Make sure his past is never known. I'd rather wait for ya. I'm on my knees for ya. I'm begging.
Matter of fact, if I'm hearing it right, the violin that is playing on top of everything is actually doing Zeus's line, right? None of the music is parroting Odysseus. Like, it's all following Zeus, which means a lot. Like, when you have an instrument doing also what the melody is doing, like, you're trying to reinforce what they're saying or singing, right? You're trying to bring more attention to that. But when it's going towards more what Zeus is saying, it's showing the minusculeness of Odysseus, right? It's showing that this is the god Zeus imposing his will on a human. And Odysseus is trying to say something, but it's just like, there is no budging from this. Either do what I say, or what I said is going to happen is going to happen. A very effective way of storytelling through the music. Love it.
This is the will of the gods.
Please don't make me do this. Don't make me do this.
The blood on your hands is something you won't lose. All you can choose is lose.
Man, that's a great way to end it. It makes me think of one of my favorite lines from Hamilton when Washington is talking to, I think history has its eyes on you, but it's in that. And it's such a great harmonic line. You know, who lives, who dies, who tells your story. That's one of my favorite things to hear. Like, it's just one of my favorite things. And it's a very similar thing where it's just like, it is what it is. And you have to deal with it. And you know, it's just the rain, and you let the voices be the instrument. Oh, wait, was there strings in that?
The blood on your hands is something you won't lose. All you can choose is lose.
Yeah. So the strings held that last note, and the voices did all the changing, and love that about this, man. There are and this is just the beginning, like, for real. This is just the first song. I am so excited to talk about so many of these. Like, I mean it. Some of these are some of my favorite things, both to dissect and such. So I appreciate you for hanging out with me on the very first Producers React to Epic the Musical. Trust me, y'all, we're going through all of them. We are breaking down all of them. I just wanted to go song by song because I think they each deserve their own video. I really hope you enjoy this and that you learned a little something. If there's anything that you'd like me to talk about, or ways you'd like me to talk about music, put it in the comments, let me know, and I'll make sure I can do that for the next video. All right, take care, God bless you.